This model shows the importance of cross-training. So in this example, we're going to have two server farms. The server farm on the left has different kinds of servers, and each server type has a repair technician who's dedicated to doing only those types. So we've got red servers that will use a red technician, blue servers that use a blue technician, etc. So we've got 4 different colors, and we got 4 different types of technicians. On the right, we're going to say all technicians are trained to do all kinds of servers, so we don't care about the color. So these will be the green ones. So we've got 16 servers of each type on the server farm on the left, dedicated technicians on the right, cross-trained technicians. Let's assume that the servers need some kind of maintenance task or repair task that takes 12 seconds. And each server bank calls for one of these tasks every 55 seconds, exponentially distributed. You can't have more than one task at a server at a time. So, you could be working on different servers in the same bank, no trouble. So you could have 2 technicians work on one if that was allowed. In the example on the left, though, that won't happen because you've only got 1 server technician of each type. So we can go ahead and run this, and we can keep track of how many tasks have been completed and also the response time. Right now you see NAN, that stands for not a number, because we haven't run it yet. When we start running it, you'll start seeing some times there. We're also going to keep track of how many tasks are in the queue and see which one does better. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and you'll see what I'm doing. And by the way, I've also got a note here, green text working. Because you could have multiple texts working on the same server at the same time, they might stand in the same spot on the animation and you won't see both of them. So if you see 3 texts but it says 4, for example, that just means 2 of them are standing in the same spot. It's nothing to worry about. So let's go ahead and run this. And I'm going to go speed it up a little bit. Before I run it too much, try to predict what will happen. I think you'll take a good guess, but let's predict. I'm also assuming that the travel time in this example is negligible. So let's continue running it. So you see the servers are working, or the techs are working, I mean. And they're being called to do repairs. Both sides have the same overall demand, just so you know. If there's a server on the right that calls for work, there's one on the left that calls for identical work. So let's speed it up a little bit. And we see already the cross-trained techs are taking the lead. They're only doing 7 seconds, whereas the other ones take 20 seconds to respond. And they've got fewer in the queue as well. So go ahead and speed this up some more. And I think it's pretty obvious that the cross-trained techs are doing much better. We'll go ahead and run it just a little bit more. See the long-term impact. Just to make sure it wasn't anything short-term that was a fluke. But it seems to be holding the same pattern. Neither of them seem to be in steady state yet. They're both growing. So we might want to look into other solutions on this model. But the cross-trained ones are doing better still. It might have reached steady state. I'm not sure. We'd have to run it longer, but that's not important to this particular model. Alright, so we definitely see that the cross-training definitely helps. The cross-training could also have a positive impact on travel because I could go to the closest one. So whereas in the hospital model that we showed before, travel was a negative when we shared the queue. In this case, it could actually help, even though it's not part of the model. Okay, so here you see that the pattern seems to be holding true. And the reason this is because there are some times when the servers on the left, one tech will not be busy, and another tech will have something queued up, and he doesn't go to help them. So that's the cause of the difference. Whereas on the right, as long as there's a tech available, he'll be working to help the other ones. So I think we're seeing a very big impact due to cross-training that really would help in this particular example.